Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. My name is Charley. As I said, I am the vice principal of the Success School, so I help just run all of these programmings, make sure we get our panels filled, that kind of thing. And so that's what I do here at the Chamber, and I would love to hear you guys introduce yourselves. Just if you could provide your name, the industry you work in, your employer, and your job title, that would be great. And we can start with Hilary since she is to the right of me.
Okay, sure. Hi, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
So my name is Hilary Kanyi, and I work in employee benefits. So I work for JA Benefits, and we help employers offer benefits to their employees. And my position is HR Generalist. So I get to see a little bit of a different side of things, I think, than Vadim sees.
Awesome. And then Vadim, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning. Hi, Hilary. Yes, my name is Vadim, and I am a financial advisor. I work for an organization that was formerly known as Hilliard Lyons. Now we operate under name Baird. So yes, and what do I do? I primarily work with individuals, families, business owners, people that have a very busy lifestyle. And unfortunately, they just don't have time to plan for various life events. So I am a financial planner. I work with folks on also financial side, just like Hilary. Maybe not as much on benefit side, but I do work with folks that just need very in-depth planning for various life events.
Great, thank you guys both. I think you're both in an interesting perspective because you both do different things. And so I think it's great to have kind of these two different finance paths being spotlighted today. So I'm really excited to talk with you both about your career. So if you want to kick it off with our panel, we'll start with just tell me about your overall career that led you to this position. What did you get your degree in? What was your path to get to where you are now? And if we want to just go how we're going with introductions, that's fine.
Sure. So I actually got my degree from IU as a marketing and international business major. I don't know how many of you guys know right now what you wanted to do when you were sitting in classes as a senior or junior, but I did not. And I even changed I was in business, but I changed from entrepreneurship to management to marketing a couple of different times. So ended up with marketing and a minor in sociology. And, I think that that's just kind of part of keep going towards what you find that excites you and that you're passionate about. Because you'll eventually get there, and it may take a little bit of time, and it might be a journey. And that's kind of how my career has been. So once I graduated from IU, in 2009, I started at Author Solutions, which is a book publishing company. And I actually started out in a sales position, which I, again, would not have thought originally that I wanted to do that because I had a different kind of conception of what that looked like. And turned out to be great. I worked with authors from all over the world and helped them put together marketing plans for their book and sold them on some of the different programs that we could do. And did that for about 6 years and wanted a new challenge. And so I moved into recruiting and started working as my introduction to human resources. And honestly, I don't think I knew a lot about human resources 15 years ago. So essentially, think of the support for an organization. We look at different processes and try to help kind of implement positive change, and we also support the employees. There's other things like employee benefits and payroll that we do, but a lot of it is very kind of human focused. And so that is where I'm at now, where worked for the last 4 years. And, it's just kind of following that path that excites you. And for me, it was people and helping people.
Okay. All right, Charlie, I guess I'll answer that question. So
Yeah.
our industry does, well, let's put it this way. I think that in a financial planning world, there's not really one road path that will take you to my chair. In fact, if you asked me when I was in college what I'm going to do when I grow up, I would not say that I wanted to be a financial planner or a financial advisor. In the last 20 some years, I've always been drawn to the stock market. I always been interested in buying and selling stocks, looking at mutual funds and ETFs and things like that. But our industry is going away in the last 5 years from just being a broker, buying and selling stocks, to be more of an advisor. And I think that's what I'm good at. I'm good at creating very meaningful, deep, honest, vulnerable relationship with people. And that's what's going to make you good at my job. My path to this job was very unorthodox because most people, if they graduate from let's say, for example, Indiana University with a degree in business or economics or finance, that's kind of the degree that most people would probably go for in order to get enrolled into our 2-year foundations program that will get them exposed to all the little departments of our organization. And then they will be probably joining a team of advisors like myself, for example. In my case, I actually spent 15 years in sales when I got my degree in linguistics. So I was actually a linguist. I studied languages. So linguist by trade, 15 years in sales, and financial planning really was my hobby since I was in my early 20s. And knowing that the industry is going away from a brokerage approach to more advisory approach, to where you plan for people, advise people, deploy very advanced planning tools, and help them understand estate planning, tax reviews. I don't want to speak on too large of terms, but you just get into the thick of people's situation. And your job is try to listen well, understand what their goals are in life, and how to implement all the knowledge and the expertise and experience and tools that we have to help them understand that they will be okay. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I know you can't see me, but I'm shaking my head and smiling because every time I do one of these, the professionals tell the same story of being on this like completely different path from what they're doing right now. And I think it's really great for students to hear, because I was, I'm only 22. I was in their spot not too long ago. And I was thinking like, I have to get on this path and this is what's going to get me where I'm going to be. And it's just not that way. The more I speak to professionals across, from the medical field to trades to you guys, you all have really done so many different things to lead you here. And so it's really awesome to hear that from professionals. And I think it's important for students to know that you don't have to know right now. Both of you did very different things and now are doing the complete opposite of what you went to school for. So thank you for sharing those stories with our students. I just wanted to know what you guys think in terms of common misconceptions people have about your field. I think that the finance field is very interesting because I think there are a lot of misconceptions. I know I have some that I'm like, I don't really know what you guys do sometimes, but I would love to hear what you guys think are some common misconceptions and what you think your field is doing to combat those misconceptions.
So I think that there's, and honestly, I think that I'm thinking of myself sitting in high school. I didn't know a lot about this field, which is employee benefits. So I want to back up and just kind of high level dig into that a little bit, and then kind of go into the common misconceptions. But you think of anyone that has employers, so your school, any business, any nonprofit, even a city, everyone that has employees has to provide benefits. And so if you look at health insurance, also different types of wellness programs or other types of creative programs to help increase employee engagement or make employees kind of life better and more fun while they're working, that's kind of what we're looking at when we're looking at employee benefits, and also coaching and internal types of training programs as well. So my organization, we work with all of these employers to help them figure out which benefits package and combination of different things. Like Vadim mentioned, you get to know kind of a lot about the organization. So he works with the individuals, and we work with the businesses that are hiring the individuals. And it's very similar. You get to know a lot about the organization, and you figure out what they really need and their specific kind of needs and interests. And then you put together a plan that's going to be specific to them, that's going to really help support their people. And so common misconceptions, once people kind of start getting to know a little bit more about the industry, is that it's easy, or maybe that it's boring, because sometimes people would look at benefits and think that, putting that together is boring, or that people are after the money. And I think that for me, kind of looking a couple careers back into sales, that's also a common misconception about sales, is that people are after the money. And I would say that, there's probably some that are, that have given that reputation, but it just kind of, goes to show that you've got to find the right organization. You've got to find the right company that doesn't promote any of the kind of habits that would support that. And, for us, the money can be a great part of it, but you only reap what you sow. So in our world, we're working with CEOs, CFOs, HR directors. If you're not here to put your client first, then those people are going to see through you. And, you're not going to be there for the right reasons, and it's going to be something that comes to light, and they won't work with you. And so, or, they might sign up and then you might lose business later on to an organization that, like Vadim and like our company, really kind of looks at the person and what's best for them. So that's something that, we try to be very intentional about how we treat our clients, and our focus, our mission, vision, values, our relationships, purpose, and growth. And so our relationships with our clients is very important, and also with each other and supporting each other. So I think that the company's kind of focus and their values can help to kind of push away that misconception of, that people are there for that particular reason. And I think the other misconception that I like to focus on is that, it's boring. I think that maybe if you're not doing it well, that you're just kind of, picking this or that for the individual, it could be like that is boring. But if you're really asking questions and getting to know that organization and the ins and outs, and learning about their employees and what specifically they need, and then coming back into the recesses of your brain with all of the knowledge that you have and putting together the plans that are going to be a perfect fit for them, that, that's where kind of the excitement comes in. There's a lot of knowledge that's necessary to be a rock star in this industry, and it takes time to learn all of that. So you definitely have to put the work and kind of the grind into it in the beginning as you're learning everything. But whenever you can use that to help an organization plan out, kind of do strategic planning for the next couple of years, then you see the rewards from that. Maybe the organization saves some money, or their employees get healthier, or they're able to grow as an organization, then that becomes really exciting. So that, I would say that that's how we're kind of helping to decrease some of those misconceptions.
That's very good, Hilary. Thank you for diving deep. I like that. Well, I think that our industry in general is very misunderstood, because I talk to young professionals or even older folks. And I just don't think that sometimes people really understand what a financial planner does. In fact, my previous business card actually had my title as a wealth advisor. And the biggest question, or the most common question that people would ask me if they saw my title, they would say, well, I don't have any wealth. So I think that the biggest misconception is people think that we only onboard clients or onboard people that we work with that only have a lot of wealth. And that is completely wrong. We are here to create wealth and help them to preserve it and hopefully grow it over the years and plan. But people think that in order for them to become our clients, they have to bring something to the table that's very sizable. And I think that's the biggest misconception. In fact, I find extremely fun working with young adults that are just graduating from, let's say, Indiana University, and they come to us and they say, great, I got a job, I'm ready to invest, what do I do? And I say, well, before we do anything, we need to look at your liabilities. We need to look at your school debt. We need to look at your expenses to make sure that obviously you can participate in the market, because there's an opportunity for you to participate in the market at some point. But what if you lost it all? You still have to take care of your liabilities, because it's not going to just, evaporate overnight. So I find it to be extremely important for us to just educate people on what we do, what our firm does, and then putting people at ease that we are in that fiduciary role, which means that we're going to do what's in our client's best interest, to listen well, understand their anxiousness, why they get excited or anxious about what they're going through, and then try to put their mind at ease by developing, implementing, and constantly checking on those, obviously, those strategic, roadmaps that we kind of pave together. So that's probably the biggest misunderstanding, that people have to have a lot of wealth in order to work with a financial planner. Yeah.
Yeah, great points from both of you. Hilary, I think you brought up a great point about how much you have to learn in this field and keep learning to excel and succeed in your field. And Vadim, I think you brought up a really great point with financial planning about, I had that misconception. I thought you had to be a wealthy person to have a financial planner or to have someone working with you on your money. And that's not true. And so thanks for clearing that up for students and people like me who don't know either. So I think my last question for you both, right now, we're obviously in a pandemic that is also affecting everyone economically, whether you're a business or an individual. I'm sure that there's some impact you're feeling from this time. So where do you see the field going from here with such shaky times in terms of the market, in terms of people's own finances, businesses' finances? Where do you see us going from here?
This is tricky. So, I'm looking at the finance industry is so large and it encapsulates so much. So I'm kind of looking at our benefits portion of it, really. And so what we've seen, especially, COVID has accelerated this, technology has played a big part. So, and some of you might have noticed this. So in the last few months, if you had to have a doctor's appointment, then there's a good chance that might have been virtual. So teledoc is what that's called. So there's been a lot more of those types of doctor's appointments. And that's, wonderful for employees. This is something that was offered to employees previously, to where you can do a video doctor's appointment, say if you're working in the office or on the line all day and you can't, leave to take an hour's drive to the doctor. You can actually do a Skype visit with the doctor, and if you've got strep throat, you can kind of open real wide and they can see, oh, yep, white spots, that's strep throat. You need to leave, and I'll send in a prescription. And so Things like that existed before, but I think with COVID, we've really taken advantage of those kind of to a higher extreme. And I really think the next, 5 to 10 years, there's going to continue to be change even more kind of rapid as there has been in the past. Another kind of, this is a tangent, but it's related to the employee benefits industry, which is kind of part of that finance industry. There's been a lot more talk about mental health and awareness around surrounding mental health. And I think that's a good thing because, COVID has, we're all stuck in our houses for long periods of times, and everyone kind of handles that differently. And so it's caused us to talk about that a little more openly and offer more support to individuals. And the same thing that's happening with doctor's appointments, virtual doctor's appointments for things like strep throat or coughs, are also happening with counseling. And so there's a lot of employee assistance programs is very common for businesses to offer their employees that a lot of people maybe previously didn't know about. But essentially it's free counseling, and any employee or any family member can take advantage of this free counseling. And they've seen a definite increase in that in the last few months. And I think that, with talking about something like this more, normalizing mental health more, that's something that, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, it can kind of show in additional support and kind of acceptance. I answered that in a very strange way, I understand, but that's what I was thinking.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, you're good.
I believe that just like Hilary mentioned, our industry is always changing, always adapting to the new regulatory changes. But we see the biggest change in the way we do business as far as being virtual. And it's almost spoiling. Like right now I'm sitting in my kitchen, and all I need to do my work is my laptop and secure login and my phone. And in some ways it can be spoiling because most of the time, I'm in my suits and ties going out to see clients, or clients come to my office. So I truly believe that moving forward, we probably not going to be spending as much time in the offices, like those brick and mortar type, offices. We probably will at some point, but not as much as we used to. And I think that clients are starting to really appreciate the ability to communicate with us anytime over the Zoom or WebEx or FaceTime. And that's spoiling not just for us, but I feel like clients are starting to really get used to this way to communicate. So moving forward, I love the change. I embrace the change. Our industry changes all the time, which keeps us on our tiptoes, but at the same time, that's what we signed up for. We didn't sign up to be in a very complacent type environment, and that's what this industry brings. It's extremely fun. I don't have the same day twice, and I'm sure Hilary probably can relate to that as well. So yeah, I mean, I know that the first quarter of this year felt extremely uncertain, not just because of the markets, but because March, everybody was sent home. And I thought maybe this is going to be a couple of weeks. And before you know it, here we are. We're in October, and the pandemic is still around, right? So I think that this is not going to go to the back normal. It's going to go into new normal. But I think that as a nation, we're very resilient, and we'll get used to whatever comes our way, and we'll come out of it probably actually doing better because, again, not going to the weeds of this, but our expenses will probably come down as far as paying for the buildings, pay for the electricity, water bill, and things like that. So no, this is actually a very positive change in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, even though you both didn't necessarily hit on your personal individual careers. I think you both hit on really great points about how, one, employee benefits are changing. I know that when I was first getting in to the workforce, mental health was not a part of your benefits. I apologize if you can hear that ambulance coming by, but I remember mental health wasn't a part of benefits, and now I find that when I'm looking for jobs and things like that, that is becoming more a part of the package, that assistance is there. So I think that's really great that we're moving into that space. And also, I just think it's an interesting time for finances and where we're going from here, but agree that we won't go back to how it was, and virtual will be kind of the new thing, but I think it just makes things way more accessible for people than it had before. As Vadim said, being able to just get on Zoom or WebEx or whatever platform to talk to your clients instead of having to schedule this whole meeting and all of these things, I think will make both of your fields way more accessible to people who may not have used you before. I'm really excited to see where things go from here for all the fields I talk to, but especially hearing about employee benefits and things from you all. So that was my last question. If you guys do not have anything else for us, then that is all I had for you. Is there anything you felt like needed to be addressed before we go? Oh, okay.
Just say,
Hilary.
Sorry, real quick, because
Go
the recruiting is going to come out. Just really quick kind of tip or piece of advice is think about what you really like. So whether it's kind of schools or healthcare, finance, sports, music, acting, technology, whatever it is that you are kind of drawn to right now. Just try to start learning as much as you can about that now. Join clubs or try to get into part-time jobs or internships or volunteer in ways that you can support those different things. Because as you've seen with my life and Vadim's, our background, it's a fluid thing. And I think the more that you learn about what you enjoy and your hobbies can turn into really wonderful careers. So I would say try to kind of figure out what that is and keep doing things that can help you kind of learn more about it.
Yeah, and Charley, if I may, just to kind of piggyback from what Hilary just mentioned, is I was challenged to write a business plan for my role in the firm. And it was a great exercise for me to sit down and think about what Hilary just mentioned, like, what do I want to do when I grow up? And what was really powerful for me to watch was a very short clip of a gentleman by name Simon Sinek. I follow him on LinkedIn, and I think that a lot of people have seen his short videos. But Simon has a video that says it all starts with why. And I would encourage high school, young adults. In fact, I've got children that are that age. But I would encourage children and young professionals to really just maybe watch that clip, because what he said to me, or to everybody, that really resonated with me was, no matter what you do in life, whether it's sales, whether you're doing whatever, I mean, really, we're all sales in some way. I mean, we sell ourselves. No. We are the product of what we do, right? In the end of the day, he was just saying that whatever you do, think about why you're doing it. Why do we wake up every day, go to work, do something, and why do we do it again next day, right? So think of why you want to do something, and then think of how you want to do it and what you want to do, okay? So think of your why first, and then everything else will somewhat kind of fall into its own place. So identify what makes you excited to go out. Like in Hilary's and my case, probably what excites us is helping people. Because if we can be an advocate or a coach or a mentor for somebody, it doesn't matter what we bring to the table, we bring ourselves. So why do we do what we do? And then what do you want to do and how you want to do it? That's secondary. Think of why you want to do something in particular.
Awesome. I mean, what a great way to end from both of you. I mean, as a young professional, you both are like getting me all inspired to go into my next career. So thank you so much. This was a great panel. I really enjoyed hearing from you both, and I think our students will really appreciate hearing both of your perspectives on things right now. And so, yeah, thank you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to come join us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Hilary. Nice to see you, Hilary.
You too. Thanks, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.